November, Maryland voters elected 3 people of color to the state's top 3 offices. While Wes Moore and Aruna Miller will be sworn in next week, Anthony Brown is already on the job as the state's new attorney general. And Anthony Brown joins us live via Zoom this morning to talk with us. Mr. Brown, good to see you.
Good morning, Larry. Great to be on with you.
All right, so more than a week on the job now. How are things going?
Look, things are going well. I'm settling into the office. I've got an extraordinary group of professionals, lawyers and non-lawyers that are doing extraordinary work representing the state of Maryland, working for the people of Maryland. And yesterday we welcomed the General Assembly back. I look forward to working with them over the next 90 days to make sure I have the resource and the authorities to do the job that Marylanders elected me to do.
Well, in your speech, you laid out 3 important priorities for you: civil rights, public safety, and police reform. But I want to focus on police reform specifically in Maryland. Does there appear to be an appetite in the legislature to really take action on this issue this session?
I think there is. I mean, certainly during the course of this past year, I've heard from a number of legislators who, I should add, have done an extraordinary job in the area of police reform and police accountability. Probably more work has been done in Maryland than any other state in the last 2.5 years. But there's an interest in establishing in my office the authority to prosecute police misconduct if an investigation shows that in a police-involved death, there in fact was misconduct. So I'll work with the General Assembly to make sure that I do have the authority, I'm well-resourced to do it, and that the investigations and prosecutions are truly fair and independent.
Adnan Syed, whose murder convictions of Haymon Lee was overturned last year, that is a story that just continues to captivate the state. We understand that the family is moving forward with an appeal. You told our partners in Baltimore, WJZ, that you support victims' rights. Can you explain that statement in the context of this case specifically?
Sure. Under Maryland law, during certain critical stages in a prosecution or a criminal case, victims have the right to be heard, to appear before the court, to make statements. And we have to protect those rights, regardless of the case that is involved. In this case, in the Syed case, it's our opinion, it's my certain belief that the victim's family was not given sufficient notice to be able to appear before the court. Yes, he appeared, but he didn't have sufficient notice in order to be prepared for that appearance. So in order to protect victims' rights, it's my view that the court has to do a redo on the motion to vacate.
Some would kind of consider that to be kind of just a technicality, that your office getting involved in kind of relitigating this case is just on the small particular issue in a case that's been going on for years. How do you explain that and kind of, reconciling that the fact that there is a legal responsibility that you say that you have versus those that feel like you guys are trying to move forward with relitigating this case altogether?
Look, much of protecting rights are ensuring that the procedures that some may say are technical in nature, but the procedures are followed, because you can't protect the rights. And that's true whether you're talking about a defendant or a victim, unless we adhere to the procedures that are established in Maryland's Constitution, in our statutes that protect those rights. So while I wouldn't necessarily say it's a technicality, I think it is a process, a procedure that's designed to protect the rights of victims. And if we begin to ignore those, then my fear is that one day we'll never be allowing victims to appear before courts and to make a statement, as was intended by the Maryland General Assembly when they passed the law requiring that victims and their representatives be giving notice during critical stages in a criminal case.
All right, Maryland's new Attorney General, Anthony Brown. Mr. Brown, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Larry.